We'll start with our roll call. Camilla?
Kelly Whitaker, Rhonda Ankeny,
Keith Fiesel.
Roger Good.
We'll rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's get to the minutes. Did anybody have a chance to review the minutes from last week? Last month, I should say. Okay. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we'll look at the budget here next.
I don't really have a question on it, but I see you got 2 more easements for the trail. Is that all of them now, Julie?
There's still another payment to process, but we have secured all of the easements. And so we've issued the notice to proceed on that project.
Great, that's awesome.
Let's move on to reviewing the, thank you Bethany for putting together the quotes for the sanitation there. Any feedback on that process as we review the quotes?
Sorry, I wasn't. I have them starting beginning April 1st. We've already had people inquiring about when the porta potty was going to be put back in. We started April 15th last year, and I thought it prudent to just go ahead and get the quote for April 1st. So, I believe through the middle of November as well.
And we used Julie's John's last time.
We did use Julie's John's last time. I know that the quote for service sanitation looks like it's for a separate hand sanitizer unit, but I confirmed that it is for a handicap unit with a hand sanitizer dispenser inside, same as what we have a quote for from Julie's John's.
And I don't recall having any service issues with them last year, is that correct?
That is correct. There were a couple of times there that you all brought some concerns to me. I emailed Julie right away and she responded same day and let me know that they would have somebody out or when the next service date would be. So very responsive.
That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Anybody have anything else on that one? We have a motion.
I'll make a motion that we use Julie John's or the Windish porta potty service.
I'll second it.
All in favor of moving forward with Julie's John's to service the Windish Park portalet? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
None opposed. So April 1st, it is.
I'll let her know.
Thank you. Okay. We have another item on the agenda for the IPRA membership.
Yeah, so I received an email from a representative, sales representative from the Indiana Parks and Recreation Association asking if we would like to renew our membership. We have not participated the last couple of years for a couple of different reasons, mostly COVID, I believe, and just change in leadership and things like that. So I responded and inquired about what it would be for membership, $37 per member for elected official or appointed officials, which you all would be. So if that's something that you're interested in, I can get that process started. I spoke with Austin, who is the master plan consultant, and he's been a part of the board for the IPRA in the past and strongly recommends involvement so that you can get in connection with other parks representatives throughout the state, whether it be parks boards or vendors or whatever, what have you. So if that's something that you are interested in, I can look into membership for whoever you would like to have included.
I would honestly like to go to the website to see a little bit more about what I get personally. That's my thought on it. I don't know what I'm getting unless, you know, you've been on this board for a little while.
Well,
I have anything to say about it.
I know that Susie just left, she was a member and president before her, and when I became president, I inquired about it, and I won't mention any names. They're not in this room, but the person we were dealing with at that time said, well, she was a member, that's all we needed. So, but she's not here anymore.
So like I said, it's completely up to the board what you would like to do.
That's why I think it's a good thing. I think it is.
So that was valuable.
Talking to the other ones, you know.
And it is an annual membership.
Okay. So I mean, I agree. I think I'd like to look into it a little further before we make a decision. But on the surface, it doesn't look like all of us would need to be part of the membership, if I understand it correctly.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if we just left that for just one, maybe two members of the park board, if we decide to go that route.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I mean, like, it's $37. Just, I mean, my thought is, let's see. I guess that's, you know, in the grand scheme, not a lot, but I would like to know what that's for. You know, I guess you get the networking, the access to the other members for us to be able to, you know, for example, you know, any changes we make, quarterly and that, I guess that would be nice to be able to reach out to network with folks and stuff like that. But if there's anything else, any other benefits, do you know of anything else, or do you think it would be privy for us to take a look at the site to dial down into that?
The website will have some more information. I know they send out information about trainings for like the park inspector things. They allow they do some training through that program as well. They have an annual conference that I believe is downtown. I don't know when, but they do different things like that throughout the year as well. So I can send you the link to the website and give you that information. I'll send you that tomorrow. Take a look at that.
Memory serves me right. They used to do a monthly mailing, now it's probably electronic.
More than likely, yeah.
And they make that seem like a benefit.
Yeah.
They're saving money. Yeah. Okay.
Well,
That sounds great.
I think it lends credibility to what we're doing right now. If you're a member of a professional organization, knowing, you know, with the master plan and all that we're doing. So I do think we need some representation on whether it's 1, 2, or 4. That's yet to be determined, but I mean, that's what we're trying to do, right? Like keep moving forward, and I think this is something that would be important for that.
Sounds good. Well, are we good to have a moment to review it and then maybe take a look at it next meeting and sound good?
There's no motion.
Okay. Hearing no motion, we'll take that course of action. All right. I see Julie walking up to the front, anticipating her moment in the shine. So we'll go ahead and turn it over to you for a Parks Master Plan update.
As guessed, you might have some questions on these items, so. For those of you on the master plan committee, you should have received an email, to schedule the next steering committee meeting. So hopefully we'll be having that here in early April.
April 7th is when I actually got an email from
Okay,
Austin during that last meeting that we were in.
There you go.
Oh, you're good.
I'm an hour behind on that. So we'll be moving forward with that. More details to follow. Hopefully we'll be getting, we should be getting a draft, or at least a close to a draft, and then steering committee should be reviewing that.
Excellent. So we're approaching the end here.
Okay? Trying to wrap up some of these projects.
Good. It's exciting.
And then
That part.
that part, still moving forward with that. Based on the schedule, we should be receiving, the full construction plans here within a week or so. And then taking that project out to bid in early April. So, I think we're still on track for that.
Excellent. And then the trail, we're still thinking, trying to be on track for sometime in July.
Town council's asked for the 4th of July, so
Yeah,
we're working hard to hit that date.
toward there, yeah.
Coming over here today, I saw they got, right away last up and did a little bit of clearing.
And the water main is going in, so it's on Saddle Club, so that needs to go in the ground first, so that's good news.
Very good.
Where is it crossing in front of Nichols?
Mhm.
Okay,
Basically where their sign is,
yeah.
is where they're crossing.
And like I said, I saw the labs looking, looked like it was took a little bit of L. White's old yard.
Yeah, not much.
Not much, just a little,
Basically,
just a little bit.
just, across the sidewalk crossing.
Yeah.
Went through Morningside and then everything.
And then through Morningside, connecting to Goodman Park and then heading north.
Excellent.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Good to see them start working.
Yes. Yes. And then, so while you're here too, anybody have anything else on that? Just moving forward. So with the brick paper sales, I know we were trying to work on, getting an online payment.
Yeah,
Are we moving forward on that?
I actually have, 2 service tickets in on 2 different systems right now to see who wins the race, or which way we go on that. So, one is basically adding a payment option through our website. And then the other one is similar to how we process building permits. I know that one works because I know I can add anything, another option for that one, but it's a little more cumbersome, so I'd like to just simplify it. But we don't have we can't do that in-house, so that's why it takes longer.
Okay. So maybe, what does that mean?
I've told them that it has to work by, June 1st, because that's when the farmer's market starts. And we need to test it and break it before then.
Okay. Okay.
So,
Just put us on the breaking part, we're good at that.
so that, I mean, that's what we need to do with anything like that we're gonna roll out, so.
So as we're getting closer to this now, that's great. That's a good update. In addition to that, I'm thinking you know, we should probably start thinking about what other components of this, assuming, you know, just go ahead and assuming this is gonna work. You know, because in my head, I'm thinking like a yard sign with a QR code right out next to it. I'm thinking, you know, scheduling, social media posts, you know, periodically. I mean, I don't know, this is just, I'm just brainstorming, but some of these things, I mean, do we need to, as we're getting close to this and we've made this what feels like 2-year push to try to get the name changed and all this other stuff happening, it feels like it's time to maybe reconvene as do we need to get together as a smaller subcommittee or something like that to figure out how to take the next steps or what, you know, because we've done all this for a reason to try to get the brick sales going again, but at this point, it feels like we need some, or maybe I'm presumptuous at this point to wait for the site, but, you know, March 21st to June isn't really a whole lot of time, I guess, if you think about it. And so having a plan in place for whatever it is that we're going to do to push through this summer might not be bad. What do you all think would be good next steps to take on moving forward with the brick sales?
No, we definitely have to have a plan in place before we go live. I mean, that's the way it's gonna work well, so I think I like the idea with the yard sign, with the QR code, and social media posts. That's fairly simple. I think we talked about a table at the farmer's market, so people could do it right here or with more information. I think that's what we had talked briefly about. And then we talked about putting the prominent on the website, or also maybe utility bill stuffers. Was that talk was?
Oh, that sounds good.
No?
So,
Did I ever step on
No.
that? I felt like I did that.
So,
That sounds good. Okay.
did we talk about doing a separate insert or?
Or you could just like a little note.
I think
like,
just putting it on the
hydro
bill.
tank. I don't know.
Okay.
Which one to do.
So, you guys may or may not have noticed an insert in your last utility bill.
I'm all online. I didn't think
Yeah.
I'd scroll down to it.
I don't know.
Oh, the app. Is that what you're talking about?
And I know that we did, the utility company did, it was like a quarter or third page insert in the bills, and there was a challenge with them for the online bills,
Oh, okay.
because it was a separate piece, you know, it's a separate piece of paper, so how does that? So they were still working through that.
Oh, okay. I just didn't ignore it.
But if you got a paper bill, I want to say your last bill had an insert with it. So that is an option, and we're working to fix the online so that it's another PDF that comes with the bill. So I can check with them on what the cost of that one was, but I want to say they did a full color one.
Okay.
So we can do like a third sheet, a full sheet, full color, black and white, you know, if that's what you want, you know.
Yeah.
Or you can do the note and the little info box that's on the bill. Right? Just depending on what else is happening that month.
I think the insert would be more noticed, possibly, by folks who open their bill and that falls out in their lap, then they're gonna look at it at least. I think the farmer's market's gonna be very effective in us getting the word out, because people will be standing literally next to the place where their paper would go.
Yeah. I was thinking about that too, and then while you guys are saying, you know, I started thinking, okay, what about maybe thinking about like a quarter page, like a handout kind of thing that we, you know, maybe we could take turns, you know, having somebody post up there for an hour or so as we get going, to kind of just answer questions and just be there and, maybe hand out a few of the, like a little flyer to get people involved in it and get the word started.
Does the town have a booth at the farmer's market, or is that something we would have to like reserve an area for, or we're just gonna be running around out there? I mean,
Well, we have an area, that's the good thing.
Yeah.
I think we do have an area, but, I don't know for sure if we're gonna have a booth this year, and it's something we definitely can. We don't normally have someone, we, in the past, haven't had someone there manning a booth.
Well, and I wouldn't want to take space away from potential vendors either. There's, that to think about.
We have, with Bargersville Main Street, talked about having kind of not an informational, but more of a check-in, here's the operator space in that area so that we can do that kind of information. And Main Street can have a definite presence, consistent presence. And so I believe there would be some opportunity to be in that area as well, without taking away, a vendor spot.
I just had another idea. I'm going. So what if we also had like a little, on one side we have brick pavers thing, but on the other side we have park hours. Hey, did you know about, Switzer Park, or maybe not park hours, but just, have the parks and just a
Flip
little,
an ad.
yeah, for our parks. And then also be able to answer any questions anybody has about our parks too, like a kickoff, that could be kind of cool, because people do come to the farmer's market, right? And I don't know that everyone really takes advantage of our parks that we have right here in town, as much as I think they could, and especially, as we get ready to bridge the gap for the new park, generating some excitement in what we have could be really cool. To do that and make this, a kickoff for the parks. Hey, we're doing brick sales, and here's the, the parks that we have, and
Maybe we can even do like a little map so everybody knows exactly where those parks
a
are.
map. Yeah,
A map.
yes, a map, absolutely. Yeah, we can tape a dum-dum on there too, for the kids.
I think that's good, and I think it might also be a good spot where we can kind of tease the new trail, new connector trail, and
Yeah, 'cause
what's going on in your parks.
at that point, they'll be pretty far along too, right?
Hopefully.
So, yeah,
For the first month, for the second month, it should be done.
yeah.
That's July 4th. And then we can change the teaser to Kepler teasers.
And it looks like we're really doing something.
Yeah, and if we have a good solid date for this by the 4th or whatever, even, there's multiple every week, right? So at any point, we could start, grand opening or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not really a grand opening, but, we could say, hey, did you know this connector trail is being completed? And then, hey, did you know, should be done by.
September, whatever, I like that. I mean, it will take some work for us to do, obviously, and we'd have to kind of split up, figure out who's doing what, but, I think that would be really fun, a really neat way to, maybe they've already done that. I don't know if y'all have ever done that in the past or not, but,
Really, the only thing is, if I remember correctly, at the Sanitation, we was trying to get people to do the survey for the master plan. I think there was a poster that had all the parts on it.
It had some information about the master plan,
Yeah. All the other posters of the fire department. Or
the police
station.
department, correct,
Police
yeah,
Police
police
station,
station.
Yeah.
But
we
you could,
make a poster.
Yeah,
if
you
we
could make a
want to do
poster.
that. But I mean, that's one more thing we gotta, figure out a place to, I don't know, we get the win, we can figure all that out. But yeah, I think that'd be a nice little display. And if you did it right here in the park, hey, you could just buy your paper right now. Mr. Hitch, you could just, would you like to scan this code and get your brick paper right now? You could do that and cement your place in Bargersville history.
There you go.
Or your friend, or your grandmother. All right. Well, it sounds like we've got some great ideas on moving forward with this. So perhaps we can maybe start creating the flyer to some degree and preparing to have a statement. I don't know how much in advance they need to be able to do that. Is it like 3 months in advance, or do they just call them
Are you talking about like the
and utility bill
insert,
stuffer?
or are you, I don't know about that. Do you know?
Yeah, you need some, if you want to do a separate insert, it would be good to know, like, I would say, on the first, that you wanted one at the end of the month.
Okay. You think we're tracking on that for the timeline of the payment option? Do you think that, if we were able to get an insert in the June bill, do you think we'd be able to have a QR code with a website link to the payment? I'm putting the screws to you. I don't mean to do that, but is that close? Hard to say.
It's the website, folks.
Yeah. We don't know. We're kind of at their mercy.
I'm gonna get them the link to our payment options.
Okay. So maybe we just hope for the best on that. But we could still move forward with most of the other stuff,
So
right?
I would say we make sure the other stuff is golden,
Yeah,
and then we'll
add that in.
add that one in. And I'll have an option. I just don't know what the link will be.
Perfect. All right. Well, would anyone like to, is anyone interested in trying to set up a flyer or prepare some of these, documents we're trying to create for this push? I can definitely work on some of this, like especially the yard sign. I've got, our folks can help design that. That's not a problem to get that done. And then some of the text that we would have to create, I guess we could pull up, we've already got some description online, right, for the parks. As far as the map goes, do we have something like that? I guess we do. Okay.
Yeah, I remember something that we pulled up when we were talking on the website.
Yeah,
We
we
talked
were
like we
talking on the
wanted it
website.
to update a little bit, but
Let's try to circle back on that. If you
Okay.
find something, let me know, and same. Because that would be good to start working on, finding a map. I like that idea.
So Keith, when you say a yard sign, it's not like the big flying placards, but rather something we leave on
Temporary.
like a
location.
little H-frame.
Yeah,
uh,
24 by 18, core blast, yeah.
Okay.
Don't you think?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
we don't want it to overpower, it's a small park anyways, right, And it will, would get damaged by one, but you can get the higher, a little bit of a thicker frame, and they're only like $1 more to go from the economy that kind of blows in the wind to the heavy duty that blows less. So, we could do that to make our yard signs last a little bit longer. But it is a temporary thing, but again, do we want a QR code in our park forever? I I don't think we do, so I think it's good that it's, kind of, I guess in my mind, I'm thinking like this, is like, a kickoff. Once we get it kind of going a little bit, hopefully we'll get some word of mouth. It'll fizzle out, and then maybe another year or two, we give another kickoff. I don't know. Maybe it's every year, but I feel like for, in my mind, all of this stuff is like a kickoff for this brick sales. We're renaming the park and we're getting the online payment going. And I don't know, what do you guys think?
I'm gonna say one thing about the maps. On the town's website, they got each park listed separately, and you gotta go to each one's map separately.
So maybe we don't have that.
On there now, it doesn't have a map with all the parks. It's just got 4 parks.
I feel like we saw something, no?
Because I feel like
Maybe
I
I'm-
said something.
Well, there
I
was.
don't remember where it was, but I feel like it was like, there was a star on it, and I was like, it looks like it's across the road, but it's really here, but they need more room to put the words or something. So we pulled it up for it.
Oh,
I think in the master
Yeah.
plan, there's
Okay.
a map.
Yeah, this is on the website today.
maybe it doesn't work on the phone.
Yeah, I just went to parks on.
Okay. Perfect. There we go. So we have a map. Excellent.
Does it have a proposed
Is it a great
car
map,
park site
or-
there?
It's not a great map.
Okay. That's what I'm wondering.
It's a,
I don't know, somebody could get that flyer, throw it in the glove compartment of their car and pull it out when they're ready to go to parks or something.
it's your old school map that tells you you have a picnic area or playground or basketball court at that point.
Like an icon.
With the icons.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me work on the map too. You guys okay with that?
Go for it.
Yes.
Tell us what you want, because
Can you do it?
we have a guy that makes maps all day for us.
Really?
With a GIS analyst, so we.
Bingo. Okay. Can you take the map on then? Just put the parks on there.
I need to know what you want on it, because this is just a base map that has the parks colored green with
So I
icons.
would think major roads, the roads that the parks are actually on. So not all roads, just the roads that, kind of thing, making it easy for
Connecting
people.
roads from one park to the other.
Yes. Don't you think? And then having like a little star, a very simple map, that doesn't show a whole bunch of roads on there, but just maybe the road that, am I speaking Spanish here? You following me? Okay. And
Just print this one that's on here, mark it up. So
There you go.
bingo. Okay. I'll do that. Unless someone else wants to do that.
You're on
I'm
vacation.
gonna be out of town in the future, so
Got it.
my bandwidth is a little narrow here. for
Yeah.
that, so.
All right. I'll find your map and mark it up and send it back to you or Bethany.
We know who to send it to.
Really, I'm trying to get this thing straight in my head. Probably the website's different than the app.
Yes,
Okay.
Yeah, your apps are usually a lot.
Yeah, that's why I was on that town's app.
Yeah. But the web developers have to code those differently because of the size, right?
correct.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do a map, yard sign, so how would you all recommend we prepare to articulate verbiage in like a utility bill stuff or social media post? Would that be something that we would want to come up with to generate, hey, we propose to write, or is there a town writer that would propose?
PR person.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I think if you come up with a general idea of what you guys want to be said, and, we can try to finesse it from there. But as far as what you guys want said, like, I feel like that's something that needs to come from you all.
Perfect.
That's language for the flyers.
Yeah. Yeah, don't you, and coming up with social media posts. I mean, in other words, what I'm saying is someone has to do that work, right? Someone's got to type up because they don't know what to send out. They just send a link or something. So somebody's going to have to generate, okay, what do we want posted on social media? What do we want on our utility bill stuff? Or what do we want on, so, I would call that content. So we have to
It's like what you
generate
did for the community day
content. Right.
for that post, and that was great because then she could just
Right.
Put it out
She
there.
can schedule them with her other
Mhm,
posts. 'Cause
exactly.
I don't want to post 1,000 things in one day.
right.
So that's what I'm saying is if we start prepping all that now, then they can plan ahead on that. And then whenever we get the link, they can just kind of embed that in. So,
I can draft that if you'd like me to.
yeah, Rhonda the writer. Okay.
Safe with editing.
I like it. So you'll do utility bill stuff or some social media posts, and then, so for example, we'll do the map, right, on the back, and we would say, Gephardt Park, home to the greatest park, no, whatever,
Our splash pads bigger than Frank.
whatever our statements are, on those things.
You sure you want me doing this?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, now I'm excited about it. And then we'll also have to come up with something for that utility bill. So those three things, if you want to work on those, I think we've got some time on it, probably not that much time. And then I'll work on that. And yeah, if anybody else comes up with anything else, this sounds like a great kickoff. I'm excited about it.
Is there anything, and I guess, I don't know if this other business or what, we're talking about a lot of exciting things, like the connector trail and that kind of thing, like kickoffs, like how are we splashing that out there when, I know we're not there yet, but if we're like, we get to June and we're like, yeah, it's really happening, or we're 2 weeks ahead or whatever, how do we get that word out to everyone and it's usable? Something we need to think about, I think, because I think it's kind of a big thing.
As far as like the trail.
Yeah, and getting it,
Yeah.
and we're going to be connecting.
I'm
All
sure
the
that's, I'm
neighborhoods
sure
about
town,
that.
yeah, I'm sure they're at that level, they're having that.
I figured, but yeah. Okay. Didn't know what our role would need to be, if anything, so that's all.
Yeah. Been having some-
I figured that's something for Laura Kennedy.
Actually, that does an update for you guys that I missed, but.
Okay, there we go.
Laura Kennedy, has ended her contract with the town.
Oh.
So, the media email is still active, and you can certainly send things to that, but, Laura has, ended her relationship. So we're in the process of figuring out what's next.
All right, very good. Anything else on the brick paver sales? How about, looks like the next item on here is the primary grounds meeting. We need to determine who would like to meet with Scott Rao to discuss expectations for maintenance. Bethany, you have any more info on that for us?
So he's out of town this week, but we had stated in the RFQ that we would like service to start, in April. So if whoever would like to meet with him sometime next week, that would probably be best to get that going. Either him or somebody else in his upper management, he said would be available. But I just need to know who so that we can get availability and get that scheduled.
Does anyone have a burning interest to do that?
I'll be gone, so.
And I'm out the first week of April too. Roger, would you want to meet with them and get them on the right path?
You know, I don't know, I know all this stuff to talk about.
Manicured, beautiful,
Yeah.
presentable, consistent.
I could do it, as the president wants to.
Well, I'd be glad to support you. If you want to do it together,
We can do it together.
that sound good?
Yeah, maybe some talking
Yeah.
points and then.
And we will, maybe between the both of us, we'll remember all the things that we.
Yeah.
There was plenty. And one of them will be there too. Excellent.
Yep.
Very good. Okay.
So I'll reach out to the two of you, and reach out to Scott and
Sure.
see what we can work out for next week.
Sounds great. Anything else? Anybody have? We've moved through everything.
I had another quick
Yeah.
update.
Yeah.
On Friday, the borders were delivered for Switzer Park.
Good.
So the street department guys will work on that as they're able to, but those were all delivered, so that will be looking much nicer here in the next few weeks.
Yeah. And how about, what is the plan on kind of finishing up, seating and stuff like that?
Have already seed down,
Oh, good, okay.
so he was gonna check, today or tomorrow, depending on schedule, to see how it was doing, and if they just, put straw down, or if it was gonna take
We'll get some weather, it looks like.
good weather, so. I wanted to make sure I didn't create a mess.
Yeah.
I did a park inspection after a big rain, maybe the last one. And I was impressed with how little had washed out onto the pathway. So,
That's good to hear.
yeah, I paid specific attention. And it was very little that had washed out onto the pathway. So I called that promising. And I saw that the bat tree was down over at Kephardt's.
Yes, they bought
The big tree.
down last week.
Good.
All right. Do I have anything else?
Nope.
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
And make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.